Send Help, the new Raimi film, is out in theaters, and I liked it quite a fair amount, even if I have some mixed feelings on it. Now, Sam Raimi is one of my favorite filmmakers. He has a great catalog of movies, and he has such a distinct style that so many movies are able to pay homage to, and lots of movies have been inspired by. But when we're presented with a new Sam Raimi movie, even if it's not amazing, you can always tell that it's strictly his style. His style never wore off. And with that, yeah, pretty much all of the Sam Raimi staples are included in the film, which, as a huge fan of his films, that's something that I love. That's probably the best thing about this film, is that it's very well shot and it has a very good energy. It doesn't go as crazy as his Evil Dead movies go, but it's still a very funny movie that's able to deliver on some satisfying splatter moments that he's known for, even if it's not particularly disturbing, in my opinion. There are certain horror fans where they're kind of just in it to watch horror movies just for the gore factor. And that's not something I'm against. I do really love gore if it's done well. But I think the standard for a splatter film is pretty much down the toilet at this point. So it's nice to see something like this that's profoundly gross, really proudly extreme and maximalist with its gore and its style, but it's also able to have some really good filmmaking with, shots that are well done, lighting that's competent. There isn't like terrible acting in the film. However, with that said, relating to the gore factor of the movie, there's a scene where they're implying that something brutal and really over the top is going to happen, but that scene ends with them just pussing out and just presenting us with a really lame fake out. And yeah, I know the story wants to have its turns, but I feel like we didn't really need a moment like this. The film's rated R, it's Raimi. I don't really see why it's so hard to show what would have happened in the film, considering that there's already so much gore. But that's just me. I would say I was enjoying the vibe of this film throughout the first half a bit more. The main character is supposed to be cringy, but I can kind of get behind it since it's supposed to be more of a sad character, I guess. It reminded me a little bit of the film May. If you've seen that, then that's kind of the character that the main character in this film is like. The second half of this film isn't bad or anything, but there were kind of just more moments in the film that stuck out to me as annoying, such as that fake out that I really just pissed me off so bad. But also there were some weird technical elements that bugged me. There was one scene with a super obvious and really bizarre change in frame rate. This is during a high speed scene where a character is running, and yeah, this is the only scene in the film that uses a high frame rate. I don't know if it's 48 frames per second or 60 frames per second or whatever, but it's really, really noticeable, and it really took me out of the film. It looked really distracting. I don't know why it's there. Now, look, all of the gore, squishing, blood splatter, and crushing effects were all well done. However, maybe this was just an issue with the theater that I was watching it in, but there were some really weird audio mixing moments with the dialogue scenes. Like, characters would be talking, and it just felt like the audio behind them was muted, or it just sounded like there was a white noise machine going off to mute out any other background noise. Like, these two moments that really stuck out to me where this happened were a scene in a workplace, and the other scene was on the island. Both scenarios where there would be a lot of background noise, and I'm just kind of like, why am I just hearing like a white noise effect? Why does it sound muted? I don't know. Something really weird. So yeah, there are a lot of things holding this film back, unfortunately, but I did enjoy it overall, and it's a nice addition to Sam Raimi's catalog, as it's more proof that Sam Raimi's style hasn't worn off and that he's 100% still got it. This film is a relatively satisfying horror movie, and I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. If you've been sticking around, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you're new, subscribe for more reviews. Thank you very much. Bye bye.